Hi, welcome to our channel, Programming of Mind, where we accelerate your knowledge with concise, from high-value book summaries. Let's begin. The foundation of happiness, understanding the mind. Happiness is something we all seek, yet often feels elusive. In a world where external circumstances often dictate our emotions, understanding happiness requires a deeper exploration of the mind itself. The foundation of true happiness lies not in material success, wealth, or pleasure, but in the way we view and interact with the world. This part explores the idea that happiness begins from within, and understanding the mind is the first step toward achieving lasting contentment. The power of the mind. Our mind is a powerful tool, but can also be our greatest obstacle to happiness. Most of us are constantly searching for happiness in the external world, through achievements, possessions, or relationships. However, the true source of happiness lies within us, in the way we perceive and respond to the world around us. Happiness is not a passive experience, but an active choice influenced by our mental and emotional states. Take the example of Emma, a successful entrepreneur who built a thriving business. She had everything society told her would lead to happiness: a large house, luxury cars, and financial security. Yet, despite all of this, Emma often felt an underlying sense of dissatisfaction. She constantly sought more success, more recognition, and more possessions, hoping that something external would finally bring her happiness. But the more she achieved, the emptier she felt. She realized that no matter how much she gained in the outside world, it couldn't fix the restlessness within. Emma's story reveals a crucial truth. Happiness is not something that can be acquired from the outside. True happiness comes from understanding and mastering our mind. By changing the way we perceive the world, we can create a sense of inner peace that is not dependent on external circumstances. Understanding the nature of the mind. The first step in understanding happiness is recognizing the nature of the mind. The mind is constantly shifting between different states: joy, sadness, anxiety, anger, and so on. These mental states are influenced by our external experiences, but they are also shaped by our internal thoughts and beliefs. The mind is like a mirror that reflects the world around it. However, if the mirror is clouded with negative thoughts and emotions, it distorts the reflection, making it difficult to see the world clearly. Consider the story of James, who was constantly anxious about his job. Every day, he would worry about meeting deadlines, pleasing his boss, and maintaining his career status. His mind was consumed by stress and fear, which affected his physical health and personal life. James began to realize that his constant anxiety wasn't caused by the job itself, but by the way he perceived it. The job was the same as it had always been, but his mental state had shifted. Once he became aware of this, he started practicing mindfulness and cognitive techniques to shift his perspective. Gradually, James learned to separate his internal state from external circumstances, and his anxiety lessened. James's experience demonstrates the power of the mind. The same external situation can bring different emotional responses depending on how we choose to perceive it. By changing our mindset, we can transform our experience of the world. The role of emotions in happiness. Emotions are a central part of the human experience. However, they are often misunderstood. We tend to react to our emotions as though they are uncontrollable forces that simply happen to us. But in reality, emotions are influenced by our thoughts, beliefs, and expectations. By understanding the nature of our emotions, we can learn to manage them and create a more balanced emotional state. For instance, imagine Rachel, who was always quick to anger when things didn't go as planned. If a project at work didn't go well, she would get frustrated and upset, which would affect her productivity and relationships. Over time, Rachel began to recognize the patterns in her emotional reactions. She noticed that her anger wasn't caused by the situation itself, but by her expectations and thoughts about the situation. If things didn't meet her high standards, she would automatically react with anger. Rachel decided to try a new approach. Instead of immediately reacting to her emotions, she practiced pausing and reflecting on why she was feeling the way she did. By understanding the underlying thoughts that triggered her anger, she was able to reframe her perspective and approach the situation with a calmer mindset. Rachel's story illustrates that while we cannot control every emotion we feel, we can control how we respond to them. The connection between compassion and happiness. Compassion is often overlooked as a source of happiness. In a world where success is often defined by individual achievement, it's easy to forget the importance of connecting with others and offering kindness. However, cultivating compassion is one of the most powerful ways to increase our happiness. Compassion allows us to move beyond self-centered concerns and foster deeper, more meaningful connections with others. Consider the example of Jack, a man who was focused on his career to the exclusion of everything else. He worked long hours and neglected his relationships with friends and family. Although he was successful in his job, he felt lonely and disconnected. One day, Jack decided to volunteer at a local shelter, helping people who were struggling with homelessness. Through this experience, he began to develop a sense of compassion and empathy. He realized that his own happiness was connected to the well-being of others. By helping those in need, Jack found a deep sense of fulfillment and joy that he had been missing. Jack's experience highlights a key point. Happiness is not just about our own success, but about how we relate to others. Cultivating compassion and empathy creates a sense of connectedness that leads to lasting fulfillment. When we focus on others' well-being, we enrich our own lives in ways that material possessions and achievements cannot. The power of mindfulness in achieving happiness. Mindfulness, the practice of being present in the moment without judgment, is a powerful tool for achieving happiness. By becoming more aware of our thoughts and emotions, we can break free from the cycle of negative thinking that often clouds our perception of the world. Mindfulness allows us to observe our reactions rather than being controlled by them. It creates space between stimulus and response, giving us the ability to choose how we react to situations. For example, Sarah, a mother of two, often felt overwhelmed by the demands of parenting and work. She would get frustrated when things didn't go according to plan, leading to stress and exhaustion. One day, Sarah decided to start practicing mindfulness. She set aside 5 minutes each morning to sit quietly, focus on her breath, and bring her attention to the present moment. Over time, Sarah began to notice a shift in her ability to handle stress. By staying present, she found that she could respond to challenges with greater calmness and clarity. Sarah's story demonstrates the power of mindfulness in creating a sense of inner peace. When we practice mindfulness, we are able to step back from our habitual reactions and see things more clearly. This shift in awareness can help us respond more thoughtfully, leading to a greater sense of happiness and well-being. Conclusion: the path to true happiness. True happiness is not found in external achievements, possessions, or experiences. It is a state of mind cultivated through understanding the nature of the mind, managing our emotions, practicing compassion, and being present in the moment. The journey to happiness begins with an awareness of our thoughts and emotions and a willingness to change our perceptions. By cultivating a deeper understanding of ourselves and our connection to others, we can create a sense of inner peace that transcends the ups and downs of life. Thank you for listening, and please like the video and subscribe for more great upcoming content that will put you in top 1% people in the world.